for y'all. Yeah. Oh man. So I put a Atlanta has a gentrification epidemic like nothing else. I think it was worse when just before the just before 2020, it blew up again in 2020, and it just calmed down probably the last 2 years. But gentrifying in Atlanta, insane.
As you guys all know, Atlanta is no longer a black majority city. Atlanta ranks number 4 in the country for gentrification. This is what it means for you. Rental prices are about to get a whole heck of a lot higher. Like they already aren't high as it
Hey, like, subscribe. It helps the algorithm. We appreciate you guys. Everything you bring to the table. Thank you very much for dropping by.
already is, it's going to skyrocket. With that being said, I happen to do like my final semester project on the gentrification of Atlanta neighborhoods. This phenomenon is so interesting because gentrification really sneaks on people like colonialization. As big of a comparison that might be, you might see a Whole Foods pop up, a yoga studio, and then you have these huge real estate development companies buying out all these neighborhoods, areas, have parking skyrocketing. People are no longer going to be able to afford to live here. And with that comes people moving in and the people who can taking over where many people lived for many, many years.
There you go. And it's not going away.
I have an unpopular opinion about the gentrification that they're doing in Atlanta. See, I see a lot of people say they're gentrifying Atlanta. They're trying to get rid of certain people, and they're making it to where people with money are the only ones that can live in Atlanta. The prices are going too high. I just have a question. Do y'all like the current state of Atlanta? Like when you go to Atlanta, do you like how it feels living in Atlanta? Like, y'all remember Buckhead used to be the place you had to be. Like, if you were gonna live in Buckhead, you had to have some money.
Yo, homeboy, he nailing it. It used to be when you live in Buckhead, you got to have some money. You ain't got to have any money right now. Well, you got to have money, but not like it used to be. Like, it's like everybody moves to Buckhead now. Now it's just like anything. I've been in the apartments, and I'm like, damn. It's smack right across the street from Lennox, and it looked like this dude never even mopped his floor since he's been there. He's been there more than a couple of years. It's crazy.
Now, if you park in Buckhead, your car will get broken into. So
Crime ridiculous. Crime ridiculous. I don't even go and chill out in the city of Buckhead downtown anymore because you just never know what you're gonna experience coming out.
I asked that question because it's like, all right, on one hand, it's pushing people out. On the other hand, it might be making the city what we actually want the city to be like. Because I think what they're trying to do is put people in Atlanta that actually value the property. I'm not putting no skin color on it because black people got money too. Now, I mean, y'all hear, oh, they're trying to put rich people, and y'all automatically assume that's not black people. No, rich people or people with money come with a certain level of class. Right now, when you go to Atlanta, the establishment,
not all the time.
just sitting at a red light is very classless. I'm originally from New York, right? So in New York, if somebody lives in the city, if you live in Manhattan, you got some bread. You got some money. Know what I mean? That's why the city, like Times Square and all that shit, if you live close to there, it's Times Square is still nice.
You cannot compare the economic status of people who live in New York and live in Times Square. You can't compare it, my bro, with people who live in Atlanta or even Buckhead. It seems like it would be a good comparison because Buckhead is supposedly the most high class area or wealthy area you're supposed to live in if you live in the city of Atlanta and you're living downtown or in that area. But that was probably years ago. Pre 2020. Pre 2020. After the summer of love, things changed.
You know what I mean? Atlanta is one of the cities that everybody wanted to come to because it was cheap. Now, I mean, but now we got all the people that are cheap. Now I mean, or they don't have the money to, afford whatever in Atlanta, and we're watching the result of that. We're literally watching the result of what it looks like to have affordable housing in Atlanta. And there's people that will even argue and say there is no affordable housing in Atlanta. You think you could go to another city, another big city, and pay underneath $2,000 to live in the city? There's no big city like Atlanta. Like, you have the Atlanta, Miami, California, New York, Houston. I think you might be able to do it in Houston, but I don't think you can do it in Houston, actually. But anyways, Atlanta is one of the only places where you can live in the city for under $2,000. And look at what this city is like. So why are we mad at gentrification?
He's not lying. In the city isn't bad, but there are pockets that you really want to be in, and there's some pockets you just want to stay out of. It's like pocketed neighborhoods. Like, best way to explain it, back in the day, if you're from up north or anything, subdivisions, I guess that's the best way to put it. Imagine certain pockets that would be considered a subdivision, but there's no real boundary, and the boundary stop, let's say, at this corner with this house, and then it looks okie dokie, and it probably stops 5 blocks down with another one. That's what makes Atlanta different, and you want to get into those pockets. But most people, they don't know what they don't know, and so for that reason, Atlanta's people end up in places that you don't really want to be in.
It's like we tried the affordable housing thing, and now look at it. Now we're gentrifying it. We're going to change the type of people that's in here, because again, the people that have some type of money, they spending a lot of money, they value their area differently. They treat their area differently. So now when we go into Atlanta, it looks nice. We feel safer. Again, no colors attached. We get so triggered because we want to attach a color so bad. Oh yeah, they're trying to get rid of the black people and put the white people in the city. No, they're trying to get rid of people with low income and put the people with high income. And that's not as much of a target than it is strategic.
I call it classism, not racism. It's just classism, because you'll have gay black men who can get $600,000-$700,000 homes down there because of they may work on a tech space or may work in some other job. Sometimes married to a doctor or a lawyer or one of those things. I know quite a few of them down here. But when I say quite a few, your boy married 20 years in, no. But at the end of the day, yeah, it is like that. It is like that, and it's classism. And honestly, they may be gay. You may say, hey, they're gay, they black and everything. But no, they're going to live there. And they don't fit that gentrification model. Even though they are gay, even though they are black, and you may say, hey, they want you to believe that this type right here doesn't belong there. No, it's not about their type or their color. It's about the bread. It's about the bread. Atlanta is one of those places which I am not going to shoot down. You can get bread in Atlanta without a shadow of a doubt. But when you get that bread, where do you live? Do you live in the city, out the city? Because if you're living in the city, you're more than likely going to be living around people that don't look like you if you have that type of bread to spend. Okay. So they don't aim to be It's not an aim to gentrify and remove black people. It just happens because they didn't got the bread.
Okay, so I'm currently in Old Fourth Ward Park in Atlanta, Georgia. If you're from Atlanta, you know exactly where I am. And I did not notice how white Old Fourth Ward has become. I'm not saying that Old Fourth Ward has not always been predominantly white, but gentrification is on the horizon. Like, I'm from New Jersey, New York area, and this feels like how Harlem looked when I went to visit it last. Like, Whole Foods on every corner. We got a Starbucks here. People just casually walking around, walking their dogs that don't look like the people that used to look like what Harlem used to look like. And I don't know, it just like kind of breaks my heart a little bit because I moved to Atlanta solely because there would be more people that look like me after going to a very white school. But I've been seeing people have the conversation about the gentrification of Atlanta, and it did not hit me until just now when I'm like driving around and I'm seeing a lot of people that do not look like me in the Black Mecca. It's crazy.
It's no longer the Black Mecca. No longer the Black Mecca.
See, I love it.
No longer the Black Mecca. It's changed, man. I'm telling you, it's changing, and it's changing fast. Real fast. Let's go to the next one.
This house, but like it's in the middle of the Westview West End area, and don't nothing else over here look like that. So you just came with your big ass entryway, and this sexy ass door, and decided to build it in this neighborhood where there are literal crackheads walking down the street most of the time.
And she's not exaggerating. There are literal crackheads walking down the street. I've been in neighborhoods. You got 5, 6, 7, 10 of those houses. They're all like 800, 900, a million. You got crackheads walking down the street. And then right across, like probably a block down or scattered between those houses, you may have a bunch of bungalows that look like nobody cares. Like nobody gave it a shower. Nobody going to paint it. Matter of fact, it probably was owned by somebody from the civil rights time that never came back and got it. It is crazy. It's insane. But that's Atlanta. That's just what it is.
I don't get it, because who the fuck gonna live here? Who's gonna live here? I would, because I can do that. But like, who?
Modern bills.
Whew. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know what area this is, but we got this and this. Crazy. Woo.
Another modern bill, and they starting to get scattered more.
You guys know that gentrification is like a real freaking thing, and I found out there's a strategy that they use to like get rid of all these houses. One clever way that they do it is, number one, like houses in the hood, they don't charge for like water. Like you pay for rent, but on the utility bills, they don't put any water bill charges at all. And then they let it accumulate over time, over and over again, and then they eventually bring it to the county, and they're like, hey, look, all these houses in this certain area have not been paying off their water bill. So you're gonna see articles that come out like this.
DeKalb County, notorious for those freaking water bills. I don't know how y'all do it in DeKalb. You guys randomly get these freaking, I've seen it. You have to fill out a specific realtor form whenever you do a contract that it's a water form. Like who've never seen anything like this? Basically saying, hey, if a water bill pops up after we sold the house, you don't hold me liable for it, because you'll just get a random bill and it'll be like 2,000, 1,500. Oh, it was there, and it's coming from like somebody 5 years ago or even 10 years ago that held the house, and they just add onto it. I truly believe, and I keep saying this is a plot to freaking steal people's shit. All right, I'm telling you.
Or videos like this where it says DeKalb County has more than $100 million worth of like water bills that aren't there. And then they set up this weird thing where like, hey, look, you guys need to go and pay all this money that we didn't charge you for like months to years. And then,
hey guys, like, subscribe, follow for the content, buy me a cup of coffee. We're going to be doing this every day. Let's go.
and if you cannot afford this, then we have to like repossess all this stuff. So it's like, imagine like a water bill that you weren't expecting because it didn't show up. Like it didn't show up at all for a month, 2, 3, up to a year, up to 2 years, and all of a sudden they hit you with this massive bill. You're unable to pay it off. So since you're unable to pay it off, and since it's on the news as, look, this area over $110 million worth of water bill has not been collected, now we're gonna go and take all the area here. And in fact, no one really bats an eye because not a lot of people care about the people in that area. Usually they're more impoverished. They don't like actually have a lot of means, and they do just pay month by month by the means that they have, and then out of nowhere they just swoop in and take everything, and they give them like some form of settlement by saying, hey, we'll give you this amount of money if you just move out. And that's just kind of how it goes.
Ridiculous. It's terrible, but it's always that grab, man. I'm telling you, if you're in Atlanta, First of all, if you're gonna move to the city, you gotta watch out for DeKalb County. That's when the water bill gets crazy and insane. And I know that they make up this water situation. So